Alright, and welcome to another edition of Late Night Drafting here. Let's get right into it. Okay, for our first pick, or our first pack I should say, we're looking at an Icon of Ancestry as our rare. It's okay, I guess, in this format. Definitely not going to be our pick. Our choices here probably be between Chandra's Outrage, which is just a premium removal spell in the format. Captivating Gyre can be fine. It can be a big blowout card in the end. I don't believe that's going to be our pick either. Herald of the Sun can also be, pretty synergetic with maybe blue-white flyers or any kind of deck that just revolves around flying creatures in the format. Master Splicer is a great card. I think it's actually between the Master Splicer here and the Chandra's Outrage. This is a lot of synergies with, say, Pattern Matcher, or just any of the token generators in this format. I think I'm going to actually take the Master Splicer. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so here this isn't a bad pack. The rare is gone. We're looking at either a Brineborn Cutthroat, which is a great uncommon in the set, a Frost Lynx, which is one of the better blue commons in the set. Tap down a creature, kind of keep the tempo going, and any kind of elemental deck. Lavacan Brawler is, what can I say? It's Lavacan Brawler. This card is premium in this format. So really, I think it's between these three cards. Howling Giant would also be a great curve topper here if we decided to maybe go that route. It could also, we could also maybe pick up, I think it's, I always forget the name of it, the card, the 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/2, whenever a token comes into play, it gets +1/+1 counter. I'm sure we'll see one a little bit later, but we could use the Master Splicer with that as well. I think I am actually going to pick up the Howling Giant. Let's see where this takes us. Okay, so for this pack, not really a whole lot for us on either one of our colors here. We could take a Dawning Angel, but Warden of the Avocyle I think just is a little bit more powerful. Vampire of the Dire Moon is also nice, despite both being very heavy in the format. That being said, I think we're going to still stay open with all our colors here, and we're going to take a Warden of the Avocyle. Okay, so here we're getting a lot of good cards that don't sync up with any of the colors that we've already drafted currently. Audacious Thief is one of the best black commons in the format. Draws us cards. Seasons of Growth. We could take this and maybe start to build around this. Pick up cards like Rabid Bite and Growth Cycle. Bone Splinters is also a fine card. Sanitarium Skeleton being in the format, you can pretty much get a somewhat free of a creature sacrifice to make this work. So Audacious Thief is probably the best card in the pack here. If we pick this, we're truly unsure of where we're going. I think I'm gonna actually pick the Audacious Thief. Let's stay open and try not to waste too many more picks here. Okay, so here there's a Pattern Matcher, like I was saying earlier, that could sync up good with our Master Splicer. A Thicket Crasher is also just a great card in this format if you were going into an elemental heavy style deck. This fits in plenty of the color combinations. Reduce to Ashes, also a premium removal spell in the format. Probably not going to take this just based off the fact that we've already drafted 4 separate colors. So our choices here are between the Pattern Matcher and the Thicket Crasher. I think we're just going to take the pattern matcher. Okay, so here, notable cards in this pack. Cryptic Caves is actually pretty good. Every time I see this being used, it seems to be in a good spot. We also could pick Blood Burglar here and maybe end up in black. Bird Grabber is fine. We have Warden of Avosal if we decided to maybe go into a red-blue kind of a flyer style deck. So truthfully here, I kind of just want to go with Blood Burglar. Cryptic Caves would be fine, but we need to start establishing a direction here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Okay, not too much either for us in this pack. Mammoth Spider is probably the best card in the pack. Pack Mastiff is also a great card, but once again, it doesn't look like we're in red currently. I think I'm just going to take the Mammoth Spider. Okay, so here, for us, it seems like Evolving Wilds could be a good pick because we may end up in a 3-color deck here, even just a 2-color deck. Sanitarium Skeleton is more than likely the pick. We just took Blood Burglar and it goes well with the scheme we're fitting. Maybe we'll Wheel of Bone Splinters. Salvager of Ruin is fine. Inspiring Captain is also fine. This could go well with Master Splicer and Howling Giant if it made it that far into the match. I think I'm just going to take the safe pick and Sanitarium Skeleton now. Okay, so here we are given another Blood Burglar. And I think that's going to be the pick here. Over Feral Abomination. This is a fine top-end card. But I'm just going to take the 2-drop. Okay, so for this pack we have a couple of choices. We could take Sorcerer of the Fang for another 2-drop. But we could also take the Ferocious Pup, Wolfkin Bond, or Heart Piercer Bow. I actually kind of like the pup here. Could fit a 3-slot. Wolfkin Bond is fine. I'm sure we'll see another one if we do need another one later. We could move into the Heart Piercer Bow scheme, maybe. But it doesn't appear right now that we're going to be in blue. I suppose it is still a possibility. I think I'm just going to take the pup. Okay, so not much for us here. I guess we could potentially play a Mind Rot. Okay, and I'll just grab the Prismite here. It's a Golem that goes with our Master Splicer. Okay, and a Stone Golem. I'll also go with that. We get the Wolfkin Bond after all. And I'm probably not going to play a Zephyr Charge. Okay, so here we get a pretty premium rare and a Rotting Regisaur. I'm pretty sure that's going to be our pick here. We have some really good green cards in the pack, and Overgrowth Elemental, which would be fine. But we don't really have a whole lot of elementals that we've drafted currently. Leafkin Druid is a premium card in this format. Always like drafting this, especially since we may end up in green. We could also end up black-white around the Golem scheme, possibly. We'll see what happens here. We're definitely going to take the Regisaur here. This card is ridiculous. Okay, so here we've got some really good red cards, green cards, Creeping Trailblazer being both. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the card that we do pick. Suppose we could take a Griffin Protector. That probably go well with a lot of the token generators that we have going on right in the deck. Ferocious Pup, Master Splicer. We have the Wolfkin Bond, Howling Giant. Let's go ahead and take the Griffin Protector. I think this is probably the best card for us right here. Okay, so here looks like we could probably take a either take a Moldervine Reclamation as a card draw engine, or we could just take the safe pick as well and the Leafkin Druid. Still not sure if we're going to end up in white. I think we may to splash the Master Splicer, but the Leafkin Druid is a pretty good pick here. I like Moldervine Reclamation as well. I think I'm just going to take the Druid. Okay. And for this pack, not a whole lot for us once again. Suppose we could take a healer, but I don't know if we'll play it. A Salvager of Ruin could be fine. Maybe get one of our big creatures back, like a Rotting Regisaur if they do end up killing it, or a Master Splicer. Light Beetle can be fine. Don't know if we'll play it or not. Could take an Undead Servant in case we get a few of these. It works good with the Rotting Regisaur. I think I actually take the Undead Servant. Okay, so here, I guess a Thicket Crasher would be fine. Not a whole lot of elementals we have right now. I don't know if I want to run Noxious Grass main deck. Would be a premium if that's the colors they were running. I think I'm just going to grab a Thicket Crasher. Okay, still lots of good red coming around being shipped to us. We can take another Blood Burglar here. We could take another Stone Golem. I think I'm fine with another Blood Burglar. Okay, and there's a Bone Splinters here. We don't have a whole lot of removal here yet. I think that's going to be the pick. Goes well with our skeleton. Okay, not a whole lot for us here either. Brightwood Tracker could be fine. Feral Abomination could also be a fine curve topper. We do have kind of a heavy top end right this second. I think I'm going to actually take the Tracker, because this could end up being a grindy deck. Okay, so here we could take either a Leafkin Druid or another Undead Servant. Undead Servant definitely does work better in multiples, but I could also say the same for Leafkin Druid. I think that's going to be the pick because mana ramp is awesome. Okay, do we have a whole lot of targets that we could use for Seasons of Growth? We have the Wolfkin Bond. And that's seemingly it right this moment. So Seasons of Growth may not be the correct pick here. We have a Mammoth Spider ×1 right now. Our 5-drop slot is getting a little bit bigger, but maybe another Mammoth Spider is better here. We're in pack 2. We could also prioritize the Seasons of Growth. I think I'm fine though with just taking another Mammoth Spider. Okay, and punished for that pick, and we were past the growth cycle. That's going to be the pick though. Here I think it's between Healer or Salvager of Ruin. I think it's more likely right now that we'll play the Salvager. Can be a little weak against bow decks. Well, we do have some premium targets that we could use for it. I think we're just going to grab that. And nothing for us really here. That's a very late smuggler. We're going to grab that. And Unholy Indenture we might play, but I doubt it. Okay, so right here we are going to take Villa's Broker of Blood. This card can be quite broken if it does come out. We do have 2 Leafkin Druids to go along to maybe play it a little bit earlier. Other good notable picks in this pack would be Scampering Scorcher, which we couldn't run right now anyway, and the Chandra's Outrage, all the same. We could pick up another Undead Servant, or we could take another Blood Burglar, but this is obvious Villa's Broker of Blood. We're going to grab that. Okay, so we could take another Leafkin Druid, or we could take a Silverback Shaman. Let's look at our curve. Okay, so it's between these two. I think we have a lot of good 4-drops that we could play on turn 3 if we have another Leafkin Druid. I also think Silverback Shaman may be just a little bit better than some of the 5-drops that we already have. Let me know in the comments what you think is the right pick here. I think I'm going to reluctantly take the Silverback Shaman. I hate passing a Leafkin Druid. Okay, so here in this pack we could take another Bone Splinters. Some good blue cards in the pack. Spectral Sailor and Frostlinks. Gift of Paradise could be decent for us as well. Maybe ramp up into our heavier spells, our Villa's Broker of Blood. I think I'm just going to take another Bone Splinters. Okay, here we're definitely going to take a Rabid Bite over a third Bone Splinters or a Blood-Soaked Altar. We already have a very heavy curve. Another Stone Golem could be fine. If we do decide to play the Master Splicer. Pattern Matcher would also synergize with that as well, but Rabid Bite is just a good removal spell, and we have a bunch of big creatures. We're going to go ahead and take that. Okay, and after all, we do get another Leafkin Druid. I'm happy about that. We're just going to ignore the rest of those cards and take that. Okay, and here we could take either another Bone Splinters, Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, a Netcaster Spider, or the Jungle Hollow for mana fixing. Our 4-drop spot seems to be just a little bit weak. We're not really playing bow. I'm still tempted to take the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat because it is a really good black common in the set. Jungle Hollow is just great mana fixing. I think I'm going to take the Jungle Hollow. Okay, not a lot for us here. We could take maybe an Epicure of Blood. But I think our 5 drops slot is actually pretty full at the moment. We could take either a Healer of the Glade or a Centaur Courser. I think either one of them would be a fine pickup. I don't think we're going to play either of them. So maybe I'd pick up the Epicure of Blood just in case we do decide to play it. I don't think there's any blue splash cards that we're, or blue cards that we're trying to splash, so I don't think we need the Thornwood Falls. Loaming Shaman could be interesting. We could also pick up another Prismite to maybe help splash a 3rd color for a Master Splicer if we decided to play the Pattern Matcher. Or not the Pattern Matcher, but the Master Splicer and the Pattern Matcher. Loaming Shaman could be a good card for this deck, being so we're playing the Rotting Regisaur. Help get some of our cards back. I think Loaming Shaman actually would be a decent pick in this scenario. Not a whole lot for us here. We could play, grab another Undead Servant. Not a lot for us here either. We can take a Plummet. We could potentially run that. Just grab another Wolfkin Bond. Another Stone Golem. Salvager. And cards that we're not going to be playing. Okay, so this is what we ended up with. Not going to be playing blue. Not sure if we're going to be playing any white whatsoever. So for now, I'll cut the golems and reassess about moving into that plan. I don't think we're going to play the healer. I don't think that we're going to be playing the Undead Servant. If we'd have gotten one more, I think it would have been possible with the Rotting Regisaur. Probably cut the Mind Rot. I cut a Wolfkin Bond. How many ways do we have to gain life here? We have 3 Blood Burglars. That's actually not terrible. We have 1 Growth Cycle. Maybe cut the Growth Cycle. Maybe the Plummet. Although there is a lot of flyers in this format, and this particularly can be good against the many Heartpiercer bow decks that you see in the format. I think I actually do want to leave this a 17 land deck. We do have a very high curve. Could trim that down a little as well. Maybe take out the Epicure of Blood. Goes well with the Blood Burglars, but I'm wondering if it's just not as good as maybe the Mammoth Spiders, Silverback Shaman, or for this deck the Wolfkin Bond. Yeah, I think we're gonna cut that. See what that does. I think this is the deck. We have ways to. We have our 3 Leafkin Druids to ramp up and do our turn 4, our turn 3 and turn 4 plays a little bit early, and maybe a little bit later our heavies. I'm actually tempted to run the pattern matcher here, because I would like another 4-drop to play on turn 3, and we have the early Blood Burglar or even the Leafkin Druid that we could seek out and then play a heavier creature a couple of turns early. Okay, so yeah, we'll bring in the pattern matcher. That seems good, and I'll cut the plummet after all. We do have 2 blown splinters and a rabid bite. It's not a terrible amount of removal. But still efficient. Okay, I think this is the deck. This is what we're going to go with. We'll see you in the first round.